Yeah, I'm back, guys. So is mine.
What circumference? Why does it smell like straight cologne in here? You know, always joke me, yeah, you can.
You actually can. What?
You should have heard anybody in our class, his fingers sounded weird. Can you crack them?
Crack them?
I thought that was you cracking your fingers. Where's Chris? He's not here.
He didn't want to come here like me. Oh, I'm sorry, because you're always here.
Except for the day he was sick.
I was lame-o. I wasn't sick, I'll be on the line.
sorry.
I was on live.
We're just gonna do a bunch of practice today. I have printouts.
I don't want to pronounce.
You can use paper or you can use the nearby.
No problem.
Would anybody prefer paper?
Paper.
I can.
Lame-o.
Actually,
Doesn't matter.
that's it.
Those of you that are at home, you can log in. Who wants to say first?
Ask me more.
That's what I'm feeling. We're gonna do this together. Oh, this one didn't see that. What do you want? Your iPad?
Yeah.
You want your iPad too? You guys are crazy. These guys are crazy. What's going on over here?
What did you say to me?
So that everybody take a minute to log in. We are looking at a bunch of funky looking shapes. You can see this first one. What does this first shape look like?
Grandpa Julia over there to stop.
What does this first shape look like? Square and circle. Square and circle. Perfect. So a lot of shapes we're gonna look at are like this. It's a composite shape. That just means it's a bunch of simple shapes put together. So square is a simple shape, circle is a simple shape, putting them together. See your pencil. So again, are we all in here logged in? So, you guys at home, like you can work through this at your own pace. If you feel like you want to walk through it with us, then you can just follow along. But if we're moving a little bit too slow and you feel like you know what you're doing, you can just move ahead. You guys, I'm just going to keep us all on the same page because it's just a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay. We do need calculators though. All of this circle stuff. We don't know how to multiply by pies in our head. I don't even know how to multiply.
There's 8 questions. There's 13 questions.
Yes. For Friday,
Really? I
13.
didn't know that. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, there's this thing at the bottom called open notes, navigator.
navigation.
I don't really remember one. So it says, suppose you want to put a bid on a tile contract. Does anybody know what that means? So if you're building a house or you're building something, people will come in and like kind of give you an estimate, and then you get to kind of pick who you want to do. So you're gonna have somebody come in and put a border around your pool. We need to figure out the perimeter of the shape. So what's a perimeter? The outside lengths. So like Levi said, we have a square that is pretty easy. How do I find the perimeter of this square part? Add them all up. So in your calculators, oh, this is cut off. What is this?
We gotta give you a calculator.
I gave you a calculator. Who has a piece of paper? What is this number?
It's 2.
It's just 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Oh, it got cut off a little bit. So we are going to say that that is
Times are 2, divide. No.
Hold on.
No.
Please hold. I don't know why that got cut off.
That's a huge calculator.
Oh, yeah, oh, that.
Why do you need a huge calculator like that?
You mean you're probably.
No, this is.
No, it's always the sports part.
Okay, this is a side length, are we listening? 27. Make it a 27. Because it clearly doesn't make sense for it to be 2. I don't know why it got a little bit cut off there when I made the copy. Okay. Anyway, if we're finding the perimeter of that straight edge in your calculator, 25 plus 27 plus 31 plus 26. Add up all of those straight side lengths and what do you get?
Times or plus like that.
Add. When we're doing the perimeter, you're adding all of the parts. So we're adding all of those straight edges. 109?
I got 78.
Boo.
109.
109. Perfect. Would you write it in paper or your iPad?
iPad.
So the area or the perimeter of the straight edges is 109. Now I have to figure out the perimeter of that circle part. What do we call the perimeter of a circle? The circumference. So I need to calculate the circumference. We need to remember that to calculate a circumference, we need to know the diameter. I need you to stop making noises while I'm talking.
No, I just said you need to put a line through the circle.
Okay, right.
That was Levi.
So I need to find the diameter, so I need to put the line through it. Because if I want to know, if I want to figure out the circumference, I need to know the diameter. So if I'm calculating the diameter here, I'm going to make it easy for us. I'm going to say that this diameter is how many blocks? Can we count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my diameter is 12. How do I find the circumference? What do we do? This is all the same stuff we've been doing. Sitting. 12 times 3.14. So in your calculator, pi times 12, what is the circumference of your circle? Chance?
37.6.
37.6. What we have to be on the lookout for, is this a whole circle? Does it look like a whole circle? No. How much of a circle does it look like?
Half.
Not quite a third. Sydney? 3/4. So with all of this circle stuff, we're like talking in terms of fourths. So we're either gonna see a quarter of a circle, half of a circle, or 3/4 of a circle. So this is my entire circumference. I wanna find 3/4 of it. 3/4 as a decimal is 0.75. So as our final step, multiply your whole number by 3/4. So it's 37.6 times 3/4 or 0.75. 28.5. So if my rectangular perimeter is 109 and the circular perimeter is 28.5, how do you figure out the total? The total. This part, the square part, plus the circle part. You want to subtract it. So add your two parts. 109 for the square, 28.5 gives us what total? $137.5 feet. So our entire perimeter of that shape for the border is 137.5 feet. Why are you on the next question?
That is it.
So again, a lot of these pictures we're gonna have to look at first, see what two simple shapes it's made out of, and then combine them together. We know that finding perimeters of squares, you just add everything up. Finding a perimeter of a circle is finding the circumference. What are you saying, Parker? That is the final answer. You are correct. Okay, so if we look at the next one, and you guys have the ability to switch your screen, because I kept that on for me. It says, the image below is that of a baseball field. Find the distance around the field for A. So that means I need to know what this entire piece is, plus the curved section. So if this is 300 feet, what do you think this is gonna be? What'd you say?
300?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. What does this shape look like?
A Wi-Fi signal.
It looks like a Wi-Fi signal. In terms of a circle, what does it look like?
Wi-Fi signal.
How much of a circle does it look
Okay.
like? A triangle and a half of a circle. Okay, so that could help us, but if I'm just looking for the outside edge, like I could technically break it up like this, but I don't need to know that inside piece. This looks like it's about a fourth of a circle. So, again, if we're looking for that outer edge of a circle, what do we call that outer edge? Again, the circumference. So I need to know the circumference. That means I need to know what 3.14 times the diameter is. So if I make this a really big circle, do I know the diameter of it yet? Huh?
No.
No?
I mean, yeah.
I just can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
It might be no, it might be yes. Do we know the diameter of the circle? The diameter is the whole length across. Do I know what the length is from one point all the way to the next point? No. Not right off looking at it. What would the diameter be? 600. Because this 300-foot part is my halfway point, so that means the whole waypoint is 600. So in your calculator, 600 times pi. What is the circumference of our baseball field?
1,885.
But again, we always have to ask ourselves, is it a full circle?
No.
No. I made it a full circle, but how much of a full circle is this? What fraction does it look like?
20.
A fourth, a half, or 3/4?
3/4. 4?
A fourth. Does anybody know what a fourth is as a decimal?
4.0.
So we're gonna take our entire circumference and multiply by 0.25. If you have a quarter of a dollar, you have 25 cents. So what is our circumference? Or what is a fourth of our circumference? 400? So again, all that is my outside edge. So I have 300 plus 300 plus 471. What is that entire outer edge? 300 plus 300 plus 471. Perimeter equals 1,071 feet. I'm not going to go through B. We're skipping that one. We didn't go through,
Yeah, because I'm running out of space.
so I'm doing it just for you. Okay. Again, main idea, perimeter is the outside space. Perimeter of a circle is your circumference. And then ask yourself at the end, is it a whole circle, a fourth of a circle, or a half a circle? All the numbers that we're working with. Okay. Which one's next? I only want to do number 3 here, I think. Because I think the other one gets a little bit too complicated. So let's,
Right in the 13.
yes, it is. Why are you saying that?
Uh-oh.
What was your point with that?
Yeah, I just want to say.
Okay. Okay.
I usually don't kill them.
Okay, what does this look like?
Circle.
Circles?
Like a seesaw.
Seesaw?
It's like a butterfly actually.
Split.
Looks like an aircraft carrier.
Okay.
On top. It's like
geometric shape wise, like Sydney's going
It looks
for.
like a circle getting pierced by a log.
Right, so a circle cut in half
I think it's 15.
and a rectangle on the inside.
What's this?
I wanna know the perimeter, which again is the outside part.
I think it's 15.
Maybe. So we have 3 feet, 3 feet, and 3 feet. So if I add all of that up, what's the perimeter of that little outside edge?
That is 9.
That is 9.
15.
And the other side is 6.
So let's make that a big 9. So that's 3 and 3, but then what do you think this is?
And 6. 6.
What do you want?
Those make 6, yes, Parker, but what do you think this missing side is?
3.
9.
3. So then you add it together and you get 9. It's not 39, okay? So
18.
now, what is our total perimeter now?
18.
Okay, so now we have a total perimeter of 18, but what parts are we missing?
The circle.
The circle, okay? So I need to figure out what this diameter is, right? Outside edge of a circle is the circumference. To find the circumference, you need the diameter. What do I think the diameter is? It's not super easy to see, RJ?
If you just get rid of the log and just make the circle closed, then we're able to get the diameter with the little dotted lines. And if we close them and we make the dotted lines, we could probably get the answer.
Right, but how do I know what the measurement is the question.
Use a
Heather,
ruler.
I know what the answer.
what's the diameter?
It's 6.
How do you know that it's 6?
It's the other two sides on the rectangle.
Stop, because it is so frustrating. She is correct in trying to explain the answer. We don't need all the comments about it. I'm asking you over and over again, please stop. Go ahead.
Because on each side there's 3 feet, so I just added them equals 6. So then I was like, what times 6 or plus 6, what equals 12? And then I just thought that's
Right.
6.
So the whole length is 12. She noticed that this much was 3 feet. So if I take 3 feet away from 12, how much do we have? Take 3 away from 12, 9. If I take another 3 away from 9, what do we have? 6. So the diameter of my circle, like Heather is saying, is 6. So now, how do I find the circumference if my diameter is 6? 6 times pi, so what's the circumference? 18.8. In this picture, altogether, how much of a circle is shown?
Half.
Half on the bottom,
Half the top.
half at the
I
top.
thought it was a 3 because how you did that was the 6. I thought it was a 3 in the middle.
But if I have a half circle on the top, half circle on the bottom, what kind of a circle do I have altogether? A whole circle. So like RJ said earlier, he was kind of rambling on a little bit, but
Yes.
if you take the log looking thing out that you guys are saying, these would fall together and you have a whole circle. So my whole circumference is 18.8. If I add the 9 foot on the side plus the 9 foot on the other side, what is the entire outside of the shape? 18.8 plus 9 plus 9 gives you what? 36.8. You guys did actually really good with that one. Good job. Good, I don't want to do that other one because one, you probably have no space.
Right.
I kind of always forget how small your iPad screens are. But
And you
Yeah,
have
it's as
that.
small as a postage stamp.
I don't know about that. A little bit. Let's again just do number 5. So we're gonna skip number 6. What do you notice about number 5? What does it look like? Perimeter of a track, like that one we did before. What else does it look like?
It's the same size as the 3 calculators. No, not that. The iPad is the same as 3 calculators to the side.
You're talking about the iPad.
So it's still like the 3.
So I think the bottom is 8.
Do you want what it looks like?
What's 8, Parker?
The bottom,
This? How do you know that that's 8?
because the 8 is on the top.
Perfect. Because I can see this kind of looks like a rectangle. So whatever my top part is my bottom part. Okay? The figure below is made up of a square. So it's not a rectangle. So what else can I fill in? Sydney? The 2 sides. Because I know that if it's a square, everything is the same. Find the perimeter. What part of the perimeter is missing? Like what part of the perimeter don't I know right now? The circles. So again, if we're talking about the perimeter of a circle, what do we call that? Go ahead again. It's our circumference. In order to find that circumference, we need to know the diameter. Do we know the diameter of this circle? What is it?
8.
8. So if my diameter is 8, my circumference is 3.14 times 8. So that's the whole circle. Do we have a whole circle in that picture? Not over here. But what, like, Sydney?
Yeah.
Right. So I understand that over here I have half a circle, but if I also have half a circle over here, if I have 2 half circles together, what do they make? Whole circle.
A whole circle.
So can I use my whole circumference? Yes. So my whole circumference is 25.12. So that means this curved edge and this curved edge together make 25.12. What else do I have to add to find the entire rest of the shape? So 25.12 plus 8 plus 8. Do I have to add these ones? Do I have to add the inside 8s? No, because perimeter is the outside, so just the 8 and the 8, which together make 16. So James, go ahead. Oh, meters, not feet. That's a big one. I thought I was writing feet again. What? 35. Do you believe me that there's 35 minutes left to go? Go. Did you say the nurse or the bathroom? Okay, there's a room.
I'm cold.
Okay. It's okay, I'm not doing number 6. Number 6 is complicated. You guys are doing good with these ones.
I'm lightheaded.
What did he say?
He said I'm lightheaded.
What did he say before that?
I don't
He
know.
said something about no space.
You're done full adult.
I mean, I heard him say what it's holding me or something like that.
Okay, number 7's easier. It says you want to find the distance the monster truck travels when the tires make one rotation. So this is like what we talked about yesterday. We talked about wheels spinning. If we talk about spinning and distance, what does that talk about in the circle, or what part of a circle is that? It's always the circumference, so you want to know that. If a question is asking you about something rotating and how far it goes, that's the entire distance around the shape, which is the same thing as your circumference. Easy. The dimensions of a car tire are shown. To the nearest foot, how far does the tire travel when it takes 15 revolutions? And again, revolution, rotation, spin, that's just saying find the circumference. 1 spin is your circumference. If I need to know 15 spins, then we would find the circumference and multiply it by 15. So again, to figure out a circumference, we need to know what about the circle. We do 3.14 times what measurement? We need to know our diameter. So in that circle, or in this whole car tire, how can I figure out the diameter of that whole piece?
That's 15.
What? I didn't even.
Okay, times 15.
So is 15 the whole diameter? 15's right here.
Oh.
Is that from the top of the wheel to the bottom? No, that's like the hubcap part, but then you need the rubber tire. Elena?
Would you like add the 5.5 so you can 15?
Yep, so from the very tippy top of the tire all the way down to the bottom, add up 5.5 plus 15 plus 5.5. What's your diameter? 26. So that's your diameter. That's what we now multiply by pi. So what's our circumference? Multiply it through. Chance.
81.68.
So that's how far your car would go. Sorry? Should be. Okay. That's how far it goes in one spin. If I need 15 spins, what are we gonna do? First, multiply by 15. So finish out the problem. 15 rotations. What's the final distance? Good.
1,225.
1,225. Who are we talking about? Feet, inches, maybe that. And rotation or revolution is the same thing as circumference. To find circumference, you need your diameter. If you make more than one spin, you multiply by whatever that is. Go with that one? We'll start jumping around a lot because you guys are doing good with this. Look at number 10. It says a hotel is building a new pool. A scale drawing of the pool is shown. A fence around it is necessary. So again, if I'm building around, I need to know the circumference. What do I need to know before I find the circumference?
4 times 3.14.
Be careful, close. But is 4 the entire length across?
No.
No, what is the entire length across?
8.
8. So I don't want to use 4 because the radius is 4. You need to know the diameter.
8 times.
What is it, Herbert?
25.4.
25.12 inches. Okay? So this is a scale drawing. So this kind of goes back to what we did in Unit 1. So we have that 1 inch, if we make a table, inches to feet. We have that in this picture. Every time I have 1 inch, it represents 3 feet. So if my picture over here is, let's just go with 25 inches, ignore those decimals for simplicity. How do I figure out how many feet it's gonna be? Sydney? Right, if I'm looking in this table, my scale factor is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So what's 25 times 3? 75. So we had to find what the scale drawing was, but then pay attention here to scale it up. So the actual fountain is about 75 feet. That's number 10. Where we go with that? Let's see how much this brought you. We'll finish with this one. So go to the last one.
I mean, number 13 is the last one.
This is your last question. I accidentally doubled up your questions. This is on your screen twice.
Wait a minute.
Same problem.
I'm going to the same one.
Yeah, I accidentally put the same problem on there twice. But just find this problem. It says the metal frame is fitted to be placed around the outside of a stained glass window. So, what?
Times 20 by 2.4.
So right now, we know that this is 40. Because like Carter's saying, times it by 2, and you get that whole length. That's not all we have to do, right? Because that only gets the bottom portion. I'm putting a frame around everything. So then how do I figure out what this part is? That's your circumference.
40 times 3.14.
So to find the circumference, you take 3.14, which is pi, times your diameter that Parker found, which is 40. And what's our circumference? Shannon?
125.6.
And again, always ask yourself, because this is always going to give you a full circle. But is this a full circle? No. How much of a circle is it?
A half.
A half. So how do I find half of 125? Divide by 2. So our last step, find half of it by dividing it by 2. Will be it.
62.83.
Divide by 2. Are we good with that? So once you finish with that, if you're on the iPad, you can hit your submit button. If you have paper, just leave it on your desk and I'm gonna come pick it up. You guys at home can finish up with that one. Make sure that you are submitting those questions as well. But you guys are really good with that, so I'm gonna make your life easier and not gonna do. So we're done. When we come back to your 9th period, you're gonna finish those posters. Which we're all like on the last part with the decoration stuff.
I finished.
Okay, fine, so you're not gonna do it. Okay. You guys doing anything fun over your extended weekend?
We haven't extended.
No, I'm sorry. Well, sort of. Like you, because you're not coming back on Monday. Like you don't come back until Thursday. I'm sorry, not all of you, so I'm sorry.
Oh,
But it's a bad question. Is anybody doing anything fun over the weekend?
I don't know.
Sleeping?
But my aunt did come home from the hospital yesterday.
That's good.
I just need to watch YouTube.
That is good. I guess I should stop recording.
I'm on YouTube whenever I watch YouTube all day, but that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing.